blessings. Welcome to the 5th episode of Reflection Internal. I am Sharuk, and today's topic is, does God exist? Uh-oh. Not this topic. It's too sensitive. Put it under the rug. We don't want to discuss this stuff. You might cause a fight. But that's a problem. We've been putting this topic under the rug for so long that people, they don't care, and they're so overly sensitive about this topic. They say never talk about religion and politics. No, you should be discussing about religion and politics in a healthy manner. But for some, I guess some people just have this mindset it's going to cause a war. So let's get to it. Does God exist? Without hesitation, without doubt, absolutely yes. God exists. What's the evidence? Well, I exist. How did I get here? I didn't come and I didn't create myself, because there was a time that I didn't exist. So how could I create myself? So there has to be a necessary being that is all-knowing, all-seeing, all-hearing, all-powerful, eternal. And when I mean by eternal, He doesn't die. God doesn't die. He is forever living, infinite, eternal, that brought me into existence. Because only God can create something out of nothing. See, we don't have that power. We use God's tools to make things, but I don't have that power to create something out of nothing. Only the Creator can do that. So since I exist, God has to exist. If you just look at the creation, look how God made everything in a perfect harmonic way, in a perfect pattern. How the night slowly turns into day, the day slowly turns into night. Nothing is chaotic. Nothing is clashing. Everything is portioned properly, perfectly. So not only God created us, but He's also sustaining us. He's a sustainer. He's the one who sustains our existence. Every single breath that we take, every single food that we eat, sleeping, everything that we do. So we have to ask ourselves that we can't sustain our own selves. So who's doing that in reality? It's only God. And when we're talking about God, we're not talking about a God. We're talking about the God, the supreme being, the only controller, the only all-powerful, the only one that's controlling everything, right? My God and your God is one. See, if there was another God, then there's two separate powers. So I'll make an example. Let's say these two things are gods, right? They're both eternal. They're both all-powerful. They're both all-knowing. They're both all-seeing. They're both all-hearing. Now, let's say one of them wants to defeat the other God. How is that possible when that other God is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-eternal? And who does what? Who says what? Right? So it would be chaotic. And if the other God is going after the other God, if that God is all-knowing, then He knows that. So it cancels it out. So there's another example that, let's say there's two people handling one steering wheel. Who's controlling what? It'd be chaotic. It'd be a crash. So there has to be one. And just because you can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We see in our lives, we don't see many things, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's there. We can't see vibes. We can't see music. We can't see sound. Right? just because we can't even see what's behind that door, behind that room. But you know something is in there. But I can't see with my naked eye. Just because you can't see with your naked eye doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We can't see what's in the planet right now with our naked eye, other planets. But God knows. There has to be life out there. So it was this philosophy, this belief of, it's called deism or deism, that God created the world and left it as it is, and he stepped back. But we don't believe in that, because if he stepped back, then who's running everything? Which means that God is always actively engaged in everything. Everything. And if he wasn't, then that thing wouldn't exist to begin with, because he's the one who's sustaining it with his power. So he's always present. We are absent. God is never absent. He's always present. Well, the question is, where is God? You can't say where, because where is a direction. God does not have a direction. God does not have a location, because he created direction, he created location. So how do you connect with God then? God has 99 names and attributes, right? The all-merciful, all-compassion, all-loving. You can connect through his names. Does God have a gender? No, God does not have a gender, because he created gender. Can you imagine God in your head? No, because he created your imagination. Imagination is from the unseen. You can't see your imaginations. Is God material? No, because God created material. And material, what's material? It can break. Now here's a question. Can the all-powerful, all-knowing God, eternal, break? If he's all-powerful, he shouldn't break. So God is infinite, and we are contingent. We are finite. We depend on God. God does not depend on us. We need God. God does not need. Why would God need if he has everything? So everything I'm saying to you doesn't go against common sense or just basic logical reasoning. This is basic logical evidence. Right? It's in our nature too, that when something bad happens, I remember a scholar saying that when something bad happens, or we hear some bad news or whatever, right away we react saying, oh God, oh God. Why is that coming out? It naturally comes out because it's in you, because the Spirit knows that. The Spirit knows that there's only one God. So think about it. Sit down and think about it. Reflect. And think about, yes, there has to be one creator, the creator, who is sustaining everything. Peace out.